Hey, YouTube, and I'm about to say, hey, Facebook, as soon as it connects, and we're going to be, hey, Facebook, today we're going to be talking about selling your home in 2020. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at why, when I was helping my brother with this November and December of 2019, we decided he had to sell to Zillow. I have refined what I've been doing for years with what we learned helping him, updating it for the market, and this is the first video for the class that entered our home sellers workshop. And we're going to start with the most amazing thing right now. You might ask, well, why did my brother sell to Zillow? How could a real estate attorney and broker who only lived a few miles from his brother, I live in Poway, he lived in Carlsbad, I used to live in Carlsbad, how could I advise him to sell to Zillow? Well, it was a interesting process. It's now refined. I've reversed two things. I used to say, let's price the home and then do our disclosures. But we decide, you'll see why. I say, do your walkthrough, do your disclosures, get an idea of how an appraiser would see your home, how buyers would see your home, how realtors would see your home. Then do the pricing. Then decide if you want to hire a realtor, do it yourself for a week, and why. Also, there's been a rule change. Realtors are no longer allowed to have coming soon listings. They're no longer allowed to have park listings. So it's more important than ever you decide on what's best for your home before you talk to a realtor. We're going to talk about all that today. And then finally, there'll be a little pitch to join my winnerscheck.com home sellers workshop. And right now, it's ridiculously priced. It's so low. It's you know, you could easily spend that on lunch. And this is just an introductory price. It will be going up. In fact, when it's all cemented in there, it's going to be $997, but with a money back guarantee that'll save you at least 3 times that much. But we're not even at that stage yet. We're less than a cup. We're less than a lunch. Okay, so let's get right into it. And if I can pull it up, I have to pull it up. If you've watched these videos before, oh wait, you know that I have to do it incognito mode. So here is, you didn't see that anyway. Okay, I had a password on there. Now, this is an incognito mode because Zillow knows me. I've been a Zillow agent a long time ago, and they try to pitch me to come back all the time. So this is incognito mode, so this should be just like you all see it. I probably should have had this up during the intro anyway. But here it is. Let me move the microphone closer because I know that gives better results. And now, you can't see it anyway. All right, so see this house, 345? Guess what my brother, you might know if you've already seen some of our previous videos or lives. But my brother sold it to Zillow for 344. Zillow spent $4 or $5 grand, at least that's what they claimed when they gave him offers. And you see, I've done other videos. I've also done the marketing videos. I'll put them in the course for those interested. But my brother sold it to them for $344, and we know they spent thousands of dollars. In fact, on their discount list, there's a little less than $5,000 that they said they were going to have to spend just to repair it. They painted it, what they called it refresh. They updated it, and they had it on the market for much higher. Let's see if they have the. Yeah, here it was. It was listed for sale when they first put it on the market on 1/3/2020 for $358,900. They dropped it, and this is a good technique for anybody. You can get to the top of the list. You can get things submitted to everybody who's receiving updates. When you lower the price, even though it's not substantial, you can get a boost in traffic. It's better to do open houses, and do some much social media marketing. But there's a cheap way, inexpensive, costs nothing. Just update your price changes there. They went at $100, $1,000 at a time. This is from one of the top agents in San Diego. He does training. He does tons of marketing, and he couldn't get it sold at that price because, frankly, it was just too much money. Zillow overpaid, and I'm going to explain to you why in the next section. Now, a new agent, they got him off the list, and they put on a new agent. But you can see back. This is funny. They see more price history. So here's where we go. This was, okay. So on this property, I put it up at 330, but I put all sorts of information in the comments as I've done in the past for other clients. So I said this 330 is it's in a range. It's 330 to 350 or 356, whatever the top was. Come see the property. We're having a big open house weekend. Make an offer. Language like that. And Zillow crossed out my comments, which I didn't think they legally were allowed to do, and just made it straight up facts. So at that point I said, Matt, by going 330 on this, we've actually made because all these price things on the internet, they want to act like they're accurate. So Zillow dropped their estimated price, which was a lot higher, down to like 331 or something. I was like, Matt, they just killed you. And we were doing Facebook marketing and Zillow marketing at the time. I was like, we got to put this on the MLS. Let's put it back up at 350 here on Zillow. And that's what I did. And then we had a big open house. And what I learned at the open house, I'm getting out of order here, but it's so interesting to me, was first of all, it was a bad time of the year. It was a weekend or two before Thanksgiving. But we got 800 people to come to my ClickFunnels website. So if you're marketing on your own, you want to have a landing page to drive people to. 800 people got there. A lot of them came organically from a post on Facebook by myself, or his wife, my brother's wife, has a pretty good Facebook following. She posted it there. We got a massive amount of people to go to the page to find out more information. I was only spending like $10 a day for 2 or 3 days. We got just so many people to show up at the site. I did some other marketing, some people on another site. The marketing worked really well. People were interested, but then I didn't get a lot of calls. Normally when I do this, I get a lot of calls. So I shared that with my brother. I said, Matt, when we get a lot of people showing up but not making calls, they either know something's wrong with the property because they're neighbors, or it's overpriced in their minds once they see the price. And I was like, I'm concerned. And I'm going to get why we were at this price and what we did about it next. And interestingly, Saturday and Sunday, by my standards, I said, Matt, in my experience, and lots of other realtors who've sold a lot of homes experience, and if you're in a strong market like almost anywhere in Southern California and anywhere in California really, and you get 15 people into your home in a compressed period of time, you don't want to go one at a time over a month. That's ridiculous. That's old style. Any realtor who's talking about doing it that style doesn't really understand the process now. Facebook marketing, Google marketing, even the reach of the MLS has changed everything. You do need to focus on a big open house weekend, a product like a launch weekend for your home. It's absolutely silly that you don't. And in other videos I showed, by doing what we did, there were little banners on top of his home, and they were at the top of the search. When people typed in his price range or condos in Carlsbad, on the different websites, they'd have banners in different colors. They put it at the top of the search on some sites. It just gets tremendous viewership, which then also translated to us, to people coming to the website and learning more and all these other things. But the point is, your realtor needs to understand these things and go back to open house marketing, because it makes a massive difference on the websites. So you do the open house marketing, you drive some paid traffic off Facebook, $7 to $15 a day. Same thing on Google. Takes a little bit of time, but people are ready to come see your house by the weekend. And I said, if we get 15 people in, 20 people in, you're going to get offers. Some of them will probably be strong, or they'll start a flow, but they'll be ready to go. Well, on both days, Saturday was poorly attended, Sunday was better, but each day there were serious people in there. There were tenants who were looking to buy, and they said overpriced. There was a couple of different investors who said no. And there was one guy who said, I own 4 in here, and I shared with him that Zillow offered 344. We were in the 350, but negotiate. He goes, 344, Zillow's crazy. Sell for that price. Look at this place. And I go, I know. My brother did all the research, told me all the price range, told me the condition of his condo, and he was like, I know it's not as good as these other ones, but the market's pretty strong. Maybe we can get that number. My brother put the numbers ahead of reality, and then after they cleaned up the place and got it in show shape, I was sitting there in a living room, and I was like, look at that flaw. Look at those old cabinets. Look at this. And I know, I've been doing this long enough. I know what buyers like. That first impression is very important, and they instantly say, am I going to need to put money into this place or not? So that threshold question is, it's ready to go, and it meets my standards. Even in a condo, if you think about what people think $345,000 is, the rest of the country that can buy a nice house with updated things, with granite, with finishes. Even at that number, people have expectations of a nice place. My brother's house was not ready to make people move in and say, people would look at it and say, we've got to spend money. And it's, if you know what you're doing, it's either spend money yourself than be the buyer. So if you're trying to get end buyers to pay big money, you have to fix it up. If you don't mind selling to people looking for bargains, investors, or you have time to wait for the smart buyers to come around who don't mind putting 5,000 or 6,000 in, boom. Or you could offer 5,000 or 6,000 updates if you're in a hurry. But you have to overcome that threshold. You have to say the work will be done, or it's been done, therefore I'm entitled to top dollar. My brother was trying to get top dollar prices. I've done a video showing the comps at the time, but his house was under, and I sat there, and I was probably a little bit harsh. I said, but Matt, there's cracks over here on the chimney. Matt, that wall, you've got tape coming through the paint, leading me to wonder if there's issues with the foundation, issues with the home. Are there cracks? And they used to take me down the garage. Look at this. And there was a crack in the wall. And I said, and we went over the things, and some of them the homeowners were probably responsible for. Some of them, he said, people have been buying here for a year, all like the tape on the wall. People have been buying here for years, they all fix it up. I go, and I'm like, that's great. And maybe that went in those prices, but your home doesn't alleviate those fears. I'm thinking to myself. And then when the buyers, I got oral offers in the low threes, like 300, 310. Someone said, well, as I said, the investor said 330 is a great price. I had serious people in the condo, not many of them, which was an indication that it was either slow time or overpriced, especially after all the people. I kept saying, Matt, so many people get into the website. I can't believe they didn't follow up and call me. I was really thinking it was price. You have this experience. If you have a lot of people come look at the property on the web, if you can count them, if you've got that tech, you know you're going to have a great weekend and you might get big offers. I had a lot of people on no offers. I was like, maybe it's November. Maybe it's something else, Matt. After that weekend, I was absolutely convinced it was overpriced. I said, Matt, I don't even know if you fixed up your price. He goes, well, what should I do? And I was like, I wouldn't put the money in because I don't know that you can get those prices that you want. You might be throwing good money after bad with that. I'd say take the Zillow offer, right? And he did, and now it's later, and Zillow put in what I think would take $10,000 for most buyers. Zillow might have been able to do it for $4,000 or $5,000. It was like $10,000 worth of work, in my opinion. And, based on, unless you were doing it yourself. And they offered him $344, and they took out a pretty fair amount for real estate commissions. But if my brother wasn't working with me, he was going to have to pay that much. But even though I was working for free for him, I just said he had to cover the advertising costs. I was like, you can't do better. That's a $15,000 gap at most, and you're not likely to get it. I don't think Zillow can sell for, I knew they couldn't. I mean, it could change going forward, but I knew they couldn't sell for $358.9. That was insanity, right? But I knew that because okay. This is the first pitch now. You ready? One of the most important things you can do when you not sure the price is put your feelers out there. That is why pocket listings and coming soon listings, or even doing it on your own, it is such a brilliant thing. If you do a week of a coming soon, a pre-listing MLS, you get a feel for the market. As I've said, if you have 15 or 20 people, if you get a lot of people coming to your website, you should have 15 or 20 people showing up at your property. If you get 15 or 20 people showing up at your property, you should have offers. If none of that works, you're overpriced or something's wrong with your home. You can just do that. Now, you can refine the process. I have a 7-day home sale method. You can make it even better. You can really try to sell that first weekend. But the idea is you get a gauge. Now, with the National Association of Realtors banning pocket listings and coming soon listings, and it's already showing up in the local association's rules that by May 1st, realtors can't do it anymore. They have to have the market on within 48 hours of signing contracts, and they can't. And once they begin marketing, they have to put it on the MLS. You now need to consider. And I'm not saying everybody should do it. Some people are like, I just want my house sold. I want to work with the best. John, can you help me get the best at a discount? I will negotiate a discount for you. That's part of what we do. I've done it for years. We'll find the very best realtors, so you can rest assured your home is going to be sold properly and well. We help them refine the multiple offer process. California Association of Realtors has had me train realtors on how to negotiate multiple offers, and then you can know you're selling for top dollar or the best chance at top dollar, and you're selling, and you're reducing your costs. So thereby giving you the absolute best chance to have a great net and a great process. So you have us overseeing the file, second opinion, helping you close if buyers, realtors aren't performing or buyers, lenders aren't performing, and you have the best realtors working together on your team. It's a fantastic team concept. That's one way to do it. But if you're not sure about the market, if you have price numbers that you'd want to reach, you could consider doing a week's worth of marketing on your own. It's very inexpensive if you do it right, setting up a website, seeing how many people come to your open house. And I would advise, because of my experience as a home seller, you say, if you'd like to work with a realtor, I have a realtor who's available. You could work that out ahead of time with a realtor, and then you could work that into what price you'll accept. Like, you can be super flexible and get around that this new requirement that realtors not have pocket listings. So that's one thing. So that's the first concept, right? It works for you. You should be exploring the market before you just get locked in. Another thing is, don't list with a realtor for more than 30 days at a time. And we're going to get into home sequencing and how to use discounters in other videos, or maybe at the end of this one, or maybe you've already seen them. That'll be in the course. Okay, so now let me tell you about, okay, so now we're getting into, okay, so I explained why we do it. You know, who knows what Zillow's going to sell that property for. So now I'm going to go to talk about what happens this is the training for our home sellers workshop. This is the intro training. There'll be Q&A sessions in there. There'll be forms. There'll be paperwork. There'll be strategies and framework in there. We'll go over each week. But this is the intro video. I'm sure we'll be updating it this quite frequently. But, okay, so this is the point about NAR and California Association of Realtors, National Association of Realtors, and your local real estate associations taking away one of the best tools realtors and sellers had. If your realtor was ethical, if you had people who knew what they were doing, you could make realtors work for you. And some of them are very happy to with pocket listings and coming soon listings, trying to sell their homes. And frequently they do it for lower commissions. And if you could figure out where your house should be and where it should sell, you frequently got the benefit of it. It doesn't always work, and sometimes you worked with bad realtors. But this was a great process, and more people were using it, and wealthier people, higher and luxury homes were using it too. And because it opened up other marketplaces, and it was happening, some realtors are starting their own associations. In my opinion, that's why NAR and CAR banned it. In my opinion, it's sort of anti-consumer, pro-cartel, realtor cartel. And they'll probably get sued for it, like they're getting sued for other stuff. But that's another deal. I am a realtor. I am an attorney. I love their forms. They benefit me. There's a lot of benefits to being in the Realtor Association, but I really don't like this end of the pocket listing. But we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to make it better for you, stronger for you, because that's what we can do. Now, so as I said, I normally, in most of my videos in the past, and my advice was, first you do your pricing. You start with online pricing. You price it like an appraiser. I've had expert pricing videos that got a lot of views. There's so many good tools on the market. For instance, right now, we'll go over the pricing anyway, even though the first thing you should do is your disclosures and walkthrough. It's not as interesting, so we'll get to that next. The first thing you do is you go to Realtor.com. You go to Zillow. First of all, you don't talk to the agents. You don't invite them to your house until you're ready. That's absolutely mandatory. You don't agree to do anything with anybody. And, the general rule is unless they give you 24-hour out, at the worst 30 days out. If they spend a lot of money, if they're going to spend a lot of money marketing your home, let's say it's a $5 million home, we reconsider that. And we have ways to take care of that too, so that you can still get out in 30 days. You should be able to, but we'll make exceptions when there are. I'm giving you general rules. So you also, so you're going to get a feel for where the online algos think your home is. And generally, You don't see massive fluctuations like on a $700,000 or $800,000 home. You might see a $30,000 or $40,000 range. You don't usually see massive differences. It does happen though. Now, what they're sort of telling you is based on their data, their algorithms are saying the price per square foot for your home is this. And you have to sort of figure out what the average home was selling for that went into that data, and they'll frequently let you. And then you compare and so that's like an appraiser has an anchor comp. This is an anchor price per square foot is really what I think is being developed here. And some of the algos can know one side of the street reviews sell for more than the other if there's been enough turnover, and they're getting pretty smart. So this is your anchor price per square foot. It's the same concept to me as an anchor property an appraiser would use. Now you want to compare and contrast your home, not how much it costs. Like we're not looking at appraisal of cost value. We're doing fair market value as realtors, banks, and appraisers would see it, as appraisers will report to banks. And so you're saying why your house compares and contrasts with that average price per square foot. And I'm going to tell you what you frequently see when you go through areas, your home, and you know the area where the comps are coming from. You'll say, oh, well, that's this part of the neighborhood developed by Pulte, and this is this neighborhood developed by First American. And First American's the wrong one, but whatever. And you'll say, and the amenities that came in. Lennar came in with all their amenities, but someone else came in with more luxury, like Shea might have more luxury. And you'll know all that stuff in a subdivision. You'll know this side of the street has views, this doesn't. You'll know in neighborhoods that are around longer, these houses this is before they were renovated. This is after. I've got a great story about that on how to buy from a FSBO who's trying to price like the before and afters. If you can find a before and after, because that's a great thing in areas where it's renovated, you've got the before and after pricing on the same home. And you can say price per square foot before, price per square foot after. Your home's better than this, but it's not like that. You should be in here. You make the offer. You can come back later. I mean, they'll come back to you. It happened. But anyway, that's price per square foot anchor. And then you develop your models. Okay, renovated, non-renovated, non-renovated and renovated, where you fit in there. That's for fair market value. That's not your list price. Your list price is something different, and you want to base your list either because of the skills of the realtor, your skills marketing, how many people you attend. If you don't know those things, you can make it a range before you put on the MLS and get a good idea. You also absolutely have to develop your maximum likely selling price. The more comps, the better, because then you'll know, well, these homes are superior. They're selling for $950. My home's fair market value is it's a little better. It comes in at 9, but my home's a little better than those. So I might be in that 910, 920, 930 range, but I'm not in the 950 range because at some points, and even at 940, people probably want those 950 houses more than mine. There should be a break. If there's enough transactions, there should be a break. If you can't develop this stuff on the net, then you probably do need to work with a series of really good realtors or an appraiser for $200, $300, $400 who's got a lot of experience in your area. Really, I'm not trying to lock anyone in the room process. I'm talking about this is the mindset that goes into expert home pricing. This is what realtors do. No, I don't think a lot of realtors understand the idea of maximum home price. But once you get that maximum home price, then all sorts of things fall into place. Your list price, your fair market value price will be under. What you should spend on fixing. If this is where you come in now, 950 is the cap. You come in at 950 is the comps. Let's say the competition, the maximum likely, where the competition is. So your maximum likely selling price is 940. Would you want to put in $20,000? So now really you have to get at least $920 to get that other $20,000, right? You can sometimes come to those conclusions. Now, let's say a realtor knocks on your door and says, I've got a buyer, we'll offer you $910, and you only have to pay us 4.5% instead of the normal realtors in the area 6%. Would you sell? Well, you're saving 1.5%, you're saving $14,000 that day. And my sister, that's an exact scenario, she called me up. I said, yes, right? Why play for that 940 or 935? And that's just a guess, right? It could be lower, it could be a little higher. When you're already at the net equivalent of maybe $5,000 difference, right? If you hired a 6%er and you waited longer, maybe you get another $5,000 net. Because in the end, it's how much money you're putting in your pocket. It's the net. I will break this all out inside. If you put questions inside our home sellers course, I will break those numbers out. I think I was pretty clear because in the end, you're examining your net, and that's helping you decide paint, carpet, repairs, renovate. You look at your net minus cost, you look at your net minus maximum likely selling price, you look at your net minus fair market value. Now, with respect to your listing price, I think it's important that you understand the process you're using. If you're using a standard realtor process and the average home sells for 98% of list price, do you really want to put your list price down here and then sell for 2% less? What are you going to do to avoid that? That's where interviewing top agents with top processes makes a difference, which is that the next part of what we're going to talk to today? No. All right. So now, that's the third part of what we'll be discussing today. Let's get into the second part. Now, this is why you want to do a walkthrough of your home coupled with, you might as well, if you're in California in particular, you might as well do your California mandatory disclosures. So let me just say, and let me just come back to this. There's one other point I wanted to make about pricing. Now, that's the online price per square foot comps. The other thing is, what are the banks going to see? Well, they check Zillow and those other things. Appraisers check it. They want to see that they're in the range. They also go to CoreLogic. A lot of them go to CoreLogic's pricing algo. I pay $25 a month to CoreLogic so that I can provide that to my clients, and I have that inside my course. I also, as of right now, have it at experthomeprices.com. So if you go to I'll do this. It might slow down my computer, but I'm going to go to experthomeprices.com. And, no, that's this. What did I do? InstantHomePrices.com? Instant. Wow, I might have told people the wrong stuff the other day. Yeah, this is me. I pay them $25 a month. It's nothing, but the value is incredible. You can watch this little video. They tell you if it's the same one that I watch. This, and I think it is. It tells you about how banks use their price. This is the number one. Like when you used to see housing data when the market was falling apart, they were always citing CoreLogic. CoreLogic is tied to one of the big real estate companies like First American or something. It's one of those big, massive conglomerates. They do title and other things unless they split out. And it's not always, just like all the other ones, it's far from always perfect, but it's the best one. CoreLogic is the best algos I've seen. They additionally have tremendous information. I'll put a video about this more in the course if anyone asks for it. But you can just go there to what did I say it was? Wow, I can't believe I was saying Expert Home Prices. It's InstantHomePrices.com because I pointed InstantHomePrices.com to me, and this is eProperty Watch. You'll get this works for all over the country too. So, in addition to Zillow, in addition to Realtor.com, and whichever favorite ones you have, I think you want to know the CoreLogic one. So that gives you your price per square foot idea. This app, I actually helped an in-law buy from a FSBO. They'll be closing the next week or two using the data off this app. It was extraordinarily easy. It's not always that good, but there was a lot of data because there were a lot of sales. And this made it so clear. My 78-year-old used to be super sharp guy. He's now slowing down. He's nervous about stuff. He got it immediately. When he made the presentation, he made it to the seller who was clear, who then must have talked to other people because I came back 2 weeks later and did it. Now, let's go back. So now, this is where you can go to winnerscheck.com. And let me just say that I find it so important that as of now, as I said, for included in the home sellers workshop with this pricing stuff and the Q&As and everything else, you ask the questions, I'll answer them in videos. We'll have weekly things. I'll put the replays in there. Right now, and this is only a limited time, when you sign up, I will also include either a 15-minute consult, maybe 20-minute. I think I have 20 minutes in the calendar, or phone calls. I mean, if I'm running out of the 20-minute consult times, I'll give a text and you say, hey, can you talk now? And I will, or I'll say, well, can you talk at this time? And we'll figure it out. So, if the consults are available, great. If the texts, are available, great. And I'll answer your questions. But this is all about before you go in and talk to realtors, you want to have your disclosures done. I've talked a lot of reasons. I've explained why disclosures are so important. One, my brother got the big money and big dollars in his head, and then when we went through the disclosures, and he had to disclose everything. Really, I got to say this. I go, Matt, if you don't, they can sue you later if these things that you see turn into material defects. If you haven't disclosed material defects, they can come after you legitimately with the law on their side if they can show that you knew about them afterwards. And this is a paraphrase of the law. I'm a lawyer, and this is not my legal opinion in writing that I would have, that I'd be willing to back against miscommunication. This is just a framework, a general thing. If you do your disclosures and you disclose everything you know about material defects, then after a closing, the courts would find, hey, when he disclosed that, you were on notice. He doesn't have to tell you things he doesn't know about. He can't. He knew about this. He told you, you should have done your inspections. That's how you would expect it to work in court if they even found lawyers to sue you. So you want to do your material defects, one, to protect you. Two, by disclosing it ahead of time, and then when they see it, they're walked through, and then when their inspector comes through, instead of getting worried and saying, I want $20,000 off, they're like, hey, this was already disclosed to me. I'm beginning to trust these people. If you're working with professional, if you get them to the buyers ahead of time, which I highly recommend, because it cost me 15 to 20 grand, 14 something once, I remember it now. You want to make sure the buyers acknowledge that they received it, and their offer should be conditioned on their review of your repair reports. You could say, hey, we found all this stuff wrong. These are the things we repaired. There's we didn't. These are our disclosures. Please condition your offers on this. And if you want to get in detail with them, you say, hey, look, we know if you find more stuff wrong, you may want to come back to us or have us repair it. But your offers need to be here because you're aware of it now, and you make those part of your offer. My clients have told me they've endeavored to disclose everything they know. Here it is in writing. Please condition your. Then you've knocked out. I've lost $15,000, $20,000. Clients call me up and say, hey, do I have to, with different rules, do I have to agree to give them $10,000? I'm like, no, you don't have to. You're sold as is in California with a right of inspection, which means you can say no to their repair requests. You can say no to their monetary requests and go sell to somebody else. But is that going to make financial sense to you, or should you negotiate with them now? And people sometimes just hate that. They're like, oh, those are my options? Like, it wasn't explained to them clearly and how it works, because they're just confused. Like, I don't know. I was told I don't have to do repair requests. I don't have to pay for it. No, you don't. It's a negotiation. You're selling as is in California with the right to inspect. And really, I guess I'm going to make it more clear, and the right to negotiate repair requests, right? That's how the contract's set up. So by knocking out some of these stuff ahead of time, you're golden. Well, you're not golden, but you're much better off. By disclosing these things ahead of time, the whole goal of our negotiations, and the third part of this, I know there's a long one today. The whole goal is to get multiple offers coming in, get those people to believe in your house, believe in the process, that it's fair to them, and get them to open up their wallets and pay exactly what they want for your house. To get them all the way to their top offer, even if it's a little over fair market value, because they want this house over the other house. They want this concluded on Monday after the big open house weekend or Sunday evening, rather than continually going on with their search process. You want to end their misery with a great home, great opportunity. This is it. And if you knock out all their objections ahead of time, it's easier for them to open up their wallet. And if you do the process right, you also know who the strong buyers are and who are motivated, so they can actually pay too much rather than coming back and saying, oh, our lender won't let us spend that much, renegotiate. Like, that's what the process is designed for. That's what experienced agents do for non-experienced agents. They knock all that stuff out ahead of time. We talk about that next section. So anyway, how do you do this? Well, normally, inside the course, until recently, I had a copy of the California Transfer Disclosure Statement for people to download. Like, while you're going through your house, keep this in mind. So read through it and write the stuff down room by room. And by the way, if you're going to work with realtors and use the realtor contract, take out your SPQ, that's the seller property questionnaire, because it's also required in the contract. By the way, I know it looks like work, but I love it. It is designed, they said so, you can clearly see, to elicit the things you know about your property by asking you all sorts of questions. So as you're going through your home, I think you should since there's so many reasons to provide these things both to realtors ahead of time and to buyers ahead of time, even if they're professional buyers, go through, while you're doing your room, fill this out, scratch it out, however you want to do it, put it in a yellow pad, type it in later. And probate people really hated to do this because they're like, I didn't live in the property, and they have a separate, easier form to fill out, but they still do things like that. Now, I have a software called, I won't get into the name. It may change over time, but I have a software that will help you make this beautiful, all cleaned up, all typed in, even explains what you're doing in some of the sections. It's not as good as having a lawyer, but it's good. It's better. And realtors can't even tell you about this stuff, really. It's pretty much practicing law without a license. So this software sort of fills in that gap, and it does a good job as you go through it. And for instance, when my brother did it, he was the first person I tested it on because he was my brother. I was like, tell me what you think about this. I said, I've randomly done it on myself, but I was already totally prepared. Tell me what you think. He thought it was awesome. I've had one other person go through it. So now I'm putting it in there, and it's going to be free as part of the course for now. And you're going to get to fill it out. You'll get it all printed out beautifully. And then if you have any questions, you can put them in the course, in the Q&A sections, or you can come and set up a live Q&A group coaching with us, and it's all for no extra charge in the course. And there may be other bonuses depending on how much time. And wow, I'm going to use this video forever. Let me just say that for now, there'll even be a bonus possibility for you, right? I don't plan to have that there forever, and that's just going to be the case. And maybe I'll restructure these videos by then. But I don't know that I'll still be able to show this video may be in there forever, because I just love the fact that Zillow's got my brother's home on the market for $1,000 more than they paid, and they put thousands of dollars into it. I don't know that I'll ever be able to convince people any stronger than that doing this is so valuable, because it allowed my brother, instead of seeing the big money, to see, hey, I should sell it for this now. And now, is over the months, now he's like, we killed him, right? That's the result. That's why I'm in this business. There's other things I could do. I'm a real estate attorney and a broker. I want to have clients say, man, we killed that process. We loved it. You analyze the process. You helped me see it. We got it. We did it. We bought the right home. We bought directly from the listing agent, bypassed all that multiple offer negotiation problems, and got the home of our dreams. We only paid $5,000 more than the initial list price, and that was a bargain, because we made up for that in the first 3 months because of the solar or whatever it is. That's what drives me. I like the process. I like winning for my clients. Wow, I just sound like Donald Trump. Didn't mean to. That's the process. You do this. You see your home through the buyer's eyes. You see your home through the appraiser's eyes. It sets you realistic. And so then when you're seeing the comps that are competition, when you're seeing even the exact same houses, but they're more fixed up than yours, you're like, well, mine's going to be worth less unless the market's really boomed in the last 30 days or whenever it was that last sale was. If you're saying, I see this and I know my neighbor's house and I see those pictures and mine's better, then you're like, well, people are going to come through, have that great gestalt feeling. They're not going to mind opening up their wallets, especially if I knock out all their other objections by putting in patent carpets, by doing my disclosures ahead of time, by doing my repair list, by maybe even having an inspection report, by maybe explaining to them if they make an offer today, they'll still have 17, 18 days to have a negotiation, by have a realtor or a lawyer on their side to make them feel good about spending a lot of money on their property, to know that because I've talked to them or their realtor, and I know that they not only have the 20% down, but they've got more like 30% down in case that they don't appraise, but they win the house during the multiple offer competition that we set up that allows them to end their pain and get the home of their dreams instead of having to settle. Like, all of this is part of the psychology of selling your home for top dollar with great realtors and a great process. So that's section 2. So section 3 in the course is about selecting the best realtor, helping that realtor have the best multiple offer process for you? And then finally, how, if you ascend in our ecosystem, how's that for marketing buzz? Ascend. If you ascend, how we can help you, whether you're a buyer or a seller, select the best realtor, and we will negotiate, arrange. It's not necessarily a negotiation. I talk to the realtors, and then I make sure that we are able to. It's the equivalent of negotiating sometimes. We'll negotiate a discount for you, or you'll owe us nothing. And I'll even return your whatever the cost was of this course, at least while that guarantee is on the website. Well, I'll talk about whether it's 7-day money back guarantee, 30-day money back guarantee. It's risk free. I've referred out. First of all, as a broker, I've sold 200 homes. I've been trained by California Association. I was selected by California Association of Realtors to train realtors on the multiple offer process, and I've referred family members, clients, friends, lots of people. Realtor in my office did it for his niche, and because it's broker to broker, I did a lot of negotiating anyway. We've referred out dozens and dozens of buyers and sellers to realtors all over the country. I was focusing today on what we can do in California, but we do it everywhere. It's probably someone telling me that they can have me appear higher on Google. They call me up all day, all the time. I keep hitting block, and they keep calling me back. I put myself on the no call list, and they keep doing it. Anyway, it's a process we've refined. We make it easy. I feel like, Fidelity used to say invest responsibly. I feel like that's what this process is. It's to help you sell responsibly. And if you'd like to have the very best working with you, great oversight from me. I'd like to say I'm the best, but great oversight from me. Great person to bounce things off. Have someone there to write a letter to escrow or write a letter to the buyer's realtor, if necessary, to tell them, hey, you need to close now. You're getting this wrong, or my client's going to walk away. Or, if you're in California, I can do that as a lawyer. There's just so many things we're not going to get into right now that we can help you with. And if you'd like, not everyone does. Some people are like, I don't mind paying my realtor this much. I like the realtor you selected. We don't need that discount. And I'm like, okay, we can work that out. And they say, well, I'd rather just pay you for your time. And I'm like, all right, well, here's my flat fee. This is what we do. And sometimes people do that. Sometimes people are like, we're going to thanks for the training. We're going to do it on our own. That's okay too. That's where we are. And let me just say, inside the course and other videos, I've done this a lot more. We talk to you. We have questions. First of all, we find out from you. This is when you ascend up. We have a 20-minute consult. I find out from you what your goals are. I find out how you'd like to achieve your goals, because this is really about you. And you might even have an idea of what sort of realtor or which realtors you want to work with. That's what it's all about. I love this is a consultative method. I'm not big on sales. I think the consultative method works better for sellers and buyers. I used to, in some of my videos, my dad used to say he loved the Cy Sims commercials, who said an educated consumer is his best customer. That's true for me. It's true for the referrals. It's true for every agent I've ever talked to about this. People are scared. Not people. Some people are concerned that it's not going to work out. If you give them the information ahead of time, the process works better. Clients make better decisions. It's all good. So selecting the best realtor for you in your local area. It's sometimes a judgment call. Would you rather work with an realtor who sold 100 homes nearby, but only 2 in your area, or one who sold 10 in your area? Well, I think it depends on the uniqueness of the home and who's got the stronger buyer list. That might be pre-assembled ahead of time. Who's got the stronger marketing for your home? We discern those things. We talk to you about it. We talk to them about it. While we're doing that, we determine who's the best communicator. Because one of my keys is I want a realtor who is going to be talking to the buyers and the buyers' agents about the process, because that's what stimulates the really strong multiple offers. That's what people come back over the top, way over list price and buy, is when they know the process is fair and they have a chance to win, and it's going to be fair. The realtors aren't going to be self-dealing with their own clients. When that happens, boom, good results for clients happen relative to what the actual value of the home is. 2, there's lots of ways to sell a home. There's lots of ways to do the multiple offers, but there's a few ways to have the multiple offer process work, where if people are near the list price on their offers and you have multiple ones coming in, you can shop the offers, you can set up a ladder, you can do a few things. But I want to talk with realtors and help them if they don't, they may come back and say, look, this is what I do. And I go, great. Where we help them, once you have a threshold offer, lock that in or keep those people interested, then let these other people compete. So you can get way up here. If this is list price where these people are and they're strong buyers and they're likely to close, motivated to close, you give a chance for the other buyers. It's called shopping offers for some people. It's setting up a multiple offer process. An auction on the side, not a typical auction, an auction within the context of just, here's where our offers are. Do you want to beat it? If so, great. We're going to go through everybody who made an offer. Everyone's going to have a chance. Would you like to participate? Here's where we are. Are you willing to beat it? And you bring them up that way. And then you decide, do you want to have this person, do you want to just come back and say to this person, hey, if you beat that offer, you win. Only one round. You set that up and you give this person a chance to win because you told them you would. Or you can decide. But the one thing at this stage is you want clarity. You want confidence in your communicator, your realtor. You want them to have confidence about the process, so that realtor or that buyer can say, if I do this, I will win. I have a good chance. It's fair. If you can set that process up, you've got your best chance of getting well over list price, well over fair market value, hopefully, if you use the right strategies. Now, finally, when working with the best, most of the best will not negotiate their fees directly with realtors. It's just the way it is. I tried it before I was a realtor myself. I have stories about it on the internet. Clients have tried it. I talk to them, and like sometimes, and I'm cool. Okay. People are like, I'm going to try it myself. I'm like, fine, but maybe try it with the 2 or 3 that would be your second choice, and see if they do it. Whereas your first choice, reserve it in case, you have to go to our process. And it occasionally you can get a small discount from some realtors, but if realtors are doing a lot of business, and that's our premise, you want experienced realtors doing business in your area, they have to worry about a few things. And one of it is, if they negotiate with you now, what do they tell all these other people who might hear about it? If they negotiate you now, what do they talk about with their customers they have in the future? If they're at a luxury or a big-time real estate, they already have to pay big fees to their realtor, to their broker, and the company might get 5 or 7% off the top. Now, when they negotiate with you, they get they get to keep a small net. They're total disincentivized for top realtors at big brokerages to work with you. Whereas if you negotiate off a commission referral to us that we share with you, their broker and usually the national office will also reduce their share proportionately, leaving that agent with more money. So we talk about that. I share the process with you. In fact, based on, we can even go over, if you have questions, I'll tell you ahead of time where I think you should be asking for 30% referral or 50% referral of the listing side. Some people say, well, can I get 50% of the whole thing if they double side it? And I'm like, well, then you're really saying, then we're just negotiating. Hey, could you be like, there's realtor broker models up there I've discussed in other things. Some people charge 1% or 2%, but they don't put it on the MLS. I'm like, let's try that process first. That's called sequencing your sale. If we know what your home is worth, if buyers know what your home is worth, and you already think they know, if you get 15 or 20 people to your open house, you'll get those offers. Well, maybe you don't need to go on the MLS, and you save that 2.5 or 3%. But in the past, you have a broker work with you. Well, now it might be that you have to work with a non-realtor real estate pro to get that done, to keep the buyers confident, because realtors now have to put it on the MLS. If they're a member of the association, they have to put it on the MLS. So they may have just taken themselves out of the process. Like, for instance, I don't know how Rex is going to have a model on May 1st. I'm going to do a video about that in the next few days. What's Rex going to do? There was a place for them and people like Rex for a week or two in my sequencing. Try it for a week or two. If you got a lot of people to your property, you get offered, great. If not, if you get a lot of people, no offers, something's wrong with your price of your property. If you don't have a lot of people at your property, it's something's wrong with the time of the year or their marketing. But never sign up for more than 30 days. I like 24-hour outs. But Rex's model just got destroyed, in my opinion. Because they're not going to be able to work with realtors. I'll have to adjust my process. I'm going to have to be a consultant because I am a realtor. I'm planning to keep my license. I'll have to be a consultant. I think they're going to change. If we do enough of this, they're going to have to change. Because right now, I'm going to have to train lawyers who already know the contracts. Maybe we'll set up a third party to do the marketing, and then we'll have lawyers doing the negotiating. People need to have pre-MLS listings to market exploration, price explanation for houses that are less easily priced. That's why you had pocket listings. It's for ethical realtors. It's why you had coming soon listings. It was price exploration for the sellers to see if it was worth it to them. And to save real estate fees. So the market's changing. This course is going to keep you on top of it. And right now, if you go to winnerscheck.com, the price is going to be less than a lunch. And whether it might be a good lunch, but it's going to have a money back guarantee. And that guarantee right now at the price I'm planning to charge right now, and it's the end of February 2020, I will have at least a 10 times your price return on investment if you allow me to help you select a top selling full service, full price realtor in your area. Probably more than 10 times you'll make on the price. So go ahead, check it out at winnerscheck.com. This will be the training video. Maybe it'll even be on the front page of winnerscheck.com. But thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.